Something is happening in AI and coding in particular. There is a lot of momentum behind you and a number of your peers. Why? Like the valuation's the headline, but what's the thing underneath that that's driving it?
Since the dawn of computing, the holy grail, the vision of using computers is the ability to program them. And there's been many attempts across the years, most recently with the no-code and low-code movement, but it really never achieved the potential. And today with AI, you can conjure up software by merely speaking them. And that's really a magical feeling, and it's transforming all sorts of jobs, not just programming, but others as well.
Amjad, can we do a vibe check and talk about vibe coding?
Yeah.
Are you in the camp of people that accept that vibe coding was coined by Andrej Karpathy earlier in the year,
yeah,
and now it's a big thing? I think our audience would really appreciate understanding what is vibe coding and why do people say things like that?
Yeah. I mean, looking again at the history of computing, Grace Hopper in the 1950s, the inventor of the compiler, talked about what we need to do is get to a position where we're coding in English, and that was always the vision. And so Karpathy last year, in his experience coding, said, I'm starting to trust AI more. And as I'm coding, the AI is presenting the code, I'm just typing natural language, and I just accept it. So that was the sort of the coinage of the term, but obviously that's something that people have been doing since ChatGPT. We started seeing it at Replit. We released Replit Agent in September 2024, and it was the first coding agent on the market where you don't even have to look at the code. So you just type your prompt. You just say, I want to build like a storefront for my pet store, and it'll in a few minutes you'll start to see the website. You can say, I want to add login, I want to add my Stripe integration, and boom, you have a website that's being built. So vibe coding initially was coined by Karpathy for professionals, saying that you can move a lot faster, you can iterate very quickly, but our take on it is really anyone can program, and that's transforming not just software engineering. We have people, designers, product managers, finance people, operations people. Everyone is automating their jobs, building tools around their jobs, and that's what vibe coding is doing.
And so now, with the progress in your agents, from Agent 1, Amjad, of just doing 2 minutes of work, and now we're up to 200 minutes with your Agent 3, are you doing engineers and software designers out of a job?
Well, I don't think so. I think we're empowering them. So if you look at some of our customers, what they're saying, for example, we have Duolingo and Zillow, some of our exciting customers in the enterprise. What they're telling us is they're cutting product development lifecycle by up to 50%. So previously, when you want to produce a new feature or new product, what you would do, a product manager would sit down, write a very long document that we call a PRD, we'll pass it to the designer takes that. Typically, they misunderstand some aspect of it because it's a lot, and they produce a mock. And then a mock goes to the engineer. They also misunderstand some aspect of it. So there's a lot of communication issues there. So what they're doing right now is the product manager, instead of going from text to design to program, they go straight to program. So they generate a prototype, they pass that prototype to the designer and the engineer, and the iteration loop just goes much faster. So companies are a lot more productive, they're shipping faster, and that's really how we're transforming software in the enterprise.
Amjad, I think the Bloomberg Tech audience would love to learn a bit more about Replit as a company.
Yeah.
Again, the headline is the tripling of the valuation, but how have you grown internally? What are the main priorities for you in terms of onboarding talent?
We set up this really big vision when we started the company in 2016. We said we're going to empower 1 billion people to be able to create software. And investors especially, were laughing us out of the room. It's like, no way 1 billion people would want to learn how to code. But we kept talking about how AI is going to change things. We built a platform that removes all the complexity from creating software. And that's not just the code. That's creating the development environment. That's creating a database and managing it. That's deploying it. And so we spent 10 years, 8 or 9 years before the company took off commercially. Last year, about this time, we're about $3 million in annual recurring revenue. Yeah. Released Replit Agent 1. that sent us immediately to $9 million. But by the end of the year, we were about $9 or $10 million. And then from there until July, we 15x to $150 million ARR. Agent V2 made it so that you can go from the agent, you can give it an idea, it will work for 2 minutes and come back to you with questions, or it'll struggle. V2 could work for 20 minutes. Now V3 could work for 200 minutes. And it's really becoming like your own programmer. You don't have to go hire a programmer off the market. You can just go to Replit, put in your idea, and Replit will work like a teammate.
But you are hiring, and in many ways, that's why you've raised the funds, Amjad. I'm going to make it personal, if you don't mind, but knowing your story of coming here to the United States back in, 2012, the fact that you came to New York, I just spoke with the governor, Kathy Hochul of New York, who's worried about the access of talent for building technology here in New York, and I'm sure it's something you think about on the West Coast. Can you get the talent you need, particularly from outside of the United States?
I think there's a lot of talent here in the United States still. I think the salaries are getting quite absurd because of the funding that's going in AI. But I think we should obviously immigration is still going to be very important to getting the best and the brightest people from all over the world to America. But also there's a lot of local talent here, and I think Replit's also mission is to teach people those skills. So Replit has always been used in schools and universities, and it's the best time ever if you're a student to start learning how to make software. It's so easy. You can make your first piece of software in a matter of like 15 to 20 minutes. And so I think we're going to see an explosion of talent and people coming on the market, being able to not just code, but use ChatGPT, use Midjourney, be able to design, be able to create videos. I think it's an amazing time for a student to be building a broad set of skills, and I don't think we're going to have a talent problem.